Hello, this is Cuckoo. This is going to be a very short behind the scenes video of what camera stuff and things that I use for creating my videos. And normally I use these two cameras. I've been using this a lot throughout the years. It's a 4K camera called Lumix Panasonic GH5. It's really good, very good, very sharp images. It's got a great image stabilizer. The only thing that it doesn't do that well is autofocus, but it's okay. This is a Blackmagic design pocket cinema camera 4K. They're using the same sensor mount. This sensor is a tad bigger than this, so you get a slightly wider image with the same lenses. And it's called Micro Four Thirds. This is also available in full frame with a 6K version, but I'm using the same mount because it's convenient for me to use the same lenses. So what's good with this is that it's totally built for being like a studio workhorse. It's very good for that, and you can power it with a cable, which is very convenient for studio shoots. A big HDMI, which this also has, by the way, which is very good. There you go. Big HDMI, very good for monitors and stuff. And it also has a good audio input. I say some people said it's not that great, the audio input, but for me, I've started using I've started using the audio input here to record video straight out of there. You see the black cable there? I'm monitoring everything going on in my Apollo, just sending it straight to the camera. And for most videos, I find that audio totally fine. It's not very noisy. The audio input on this though, it's not as good as on this. This is very noisy. So for when I'm shooting with this, I never record audio in camera. There is a thing you can mount here that has cleaner audio inputs. I don't have it. That could be a good thing. Oh, it's collecting dust. Do you know what it's collecting dust? Do you know why? Because, be careful, because I've been using this for nearly 1 year now. So I've sort of shifted from the GH5 to the Blackmagic design. And it's because I find it much more convenient to use this in the studio. And one of the convenient factors is this. Hello, hard drive. This is an SSD called T5 by Samsung. And with this, I can just plug in the SSD straight here into the USB-C port and shoot straight to the disk, and then plug it into the computer and start editing, which is what I'm doing right now. So these are very fast, and you can shoot very high resolution straight onto them. And if you want to shoot like higher frame rates on bigger cameras, other cameras, you might need a slightly faster disk. The T5 is good enough for 4K video on this, and the way I use it, very good. Shoot straight to the disk and it's ready to go. With this, there is no such option, even though it has a USB-C port. It's not for transferring the files in real time or anything. So this you need to shoot with an SD card. Let's go. It's right there. Dual SD cards, and which is good. It's good. I've never had any issues with shooting on SD cards, but once you get like the workflow of shooting straight to the disk, that little extra time it takes to take the card out into a card reader. And I've been using the SD cards and editing straight from the SD cards. It's not the best because it's not super fast, or sometimes when you do like dual layers and stuff, you can see that doing it that way is sort of struggling a little bit with the SD cards, and some SD card readers aren't really that good. So editing straight from an SD card works, but it's much better to transfer it to a disk, a fast disk. So this is already a fast disk, so no transfer needed. So the guy in the middle here, well, I'm using Micro Four Thirds mount, and this is a Micro Four Thirds camera. This is it's not a camera, it's a lens, and this lens is the main lens that I've used on all of my videos. Basically, this is my main lens. It's called Olympus M Zuiko digital, 12 to 44 to 40 aperture 2.8, and it's a zoom lens. Let's see if I can zoom it with one hand. It zooms out like that, protrudes. Yeah, like so. It's very good. Like optically, this is really good, and the focus ring is either digital, which is focused by wire, is that what it's called? Or you can snap it back like this, and then it's manual. It's like actually, yeah, like full control of where you're focusing, and then you can snap it back again. Now for me in the studio, I got it all set up here on this arm, which is a Manfrotto, and then I can snap it in place, and then I can lock the focus and just shoot down like this. And but this is my main lens. I have other lenses too that are more cinematic that I use sometimes, but this I can highly recommend. This very good quality in every aspect. One thing that I want to mention though is that when you mount this on a Panasonic camera, this is automatically correcting the image. It knows what this lens is, and it knows how much it needs to correct it in order to make everything look straight. When you shoot with this lens on the Blackmagic, it does not correct for any like it looks slightly bulging. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's not totally straight. So when you put it on here, you need to straighten it up in post manually. It's not much, but sometimes, especially when like shooting like this, like a big square synthesizer, and you can see it's sort of slightly bent, like a tad of fisheye effect, then it's like you really need to correct it. It's no big deal. There's very simple effects to take care of stuff like that. So yeah, what else should I say about this? Yeah, as you can see here, I'm using Final Cut Pro. I think Final Cut, I've been using older Final Cut before it went to this new version, and I've been using the Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects and stuff. But there is something about Final Cut Pro that is just so exceptionally speedy. It's super fast, very fast. Like just scrubbing the timeline. This experience is like actually super helpful, and just like zooming in, zooming out, and actually, I can say what you will about the touch bar here. In this software, this is the only software where I actually use the touch bar for what it's worth, because well, there are no F keys, so I need to use it sometimes, and I use it for this function here. And trim end and trim beginning, trim start, and yeah, it's just performing so well. I can run effects in real time. I can put LUTs in real time and correct the video colors, color grade in real time, have multiple layers in real time, and it's just like extremely fast performing. So that's why I'm using this. Now Blackmagic, they're making their own software called Davinci Resolve, and Resolve is extremely good too, and it's actually free. For what you get for free with Davinci Resolve is mind-blowing. It's extremely competent, I'd say. You can make so much, yeah, you can do like industry grade color grading. And now there's an effects engine called Fusion. It's also inside of Davinci Resolve. And yeah, it's just super powerful. And so if I need to do like color grades that are really good, I do it in Davinci Resolve, and then I export the LUT and then import that into Final Cut Pro, because I still think the editing experience in Final Cut is much more efficient. And also, what's more, this is shooting in like RAW or log format, and that, because I'm shooting so much in the studio, I'm I know what the lighting is going to be every time. It's going to be the same lighting for me every time. So I can make a LUT, like a image color correction, and put it on the camera so that every time I shoot in this lighting, it's going to be perfect colors. Don't need to touch up the colors in any way afterwards. With this, I always need to touch up the colors, but it's the same there. You know, I'm shooting in the same circumstances every time, so I know what the colors are going to be. So after a while, I created a LUT that is perfect for this camera and for the studio, so just slap on that LUT. But it's really nice though to have the LUT already in the camera, the files coming out perfect, and I don't have to think about the colors. Nice. One more thing that I'd like to say, if we put these up against each other, is that this is slightly sharper. Hello. This is slightly sharper, and I think that is because when shooting video, this is shooting in 6K and it's downscaling. So it's actually shooting in a higher resolution and then squeezing down that image, resulting in a not much finer detail, but you can see, especially stuff that I shoot, like I shoot like massive top-down views like this. You want to see the labels. I want to make sure that I can read all the labels, and then in post, like this, zoom in and then zoom out again, and maybe even like this, have a layer where I'm filling with something and you can see like that label. And when doing that, this is good enough, but when comparing them, I can see that this is always slightly clearer when it comes to that. It's shooting in native 4K video only, and I think maybe that would be why it's slightly softer. But it's very good. For the last year, I've been shooting this exclusively because I think all the benefits and convenience outweighs that little extra tad of sharpness. Yeah, so will I get rid of this? No, because when I travel, this is a much more convenient camera to use. It's more convenient because I don't need this hard drive. I mean, this has card slots too, but just seeing them side by side, you can see that, yeah, this is smaller. It's not small, but it is noticeably smaller. This is actually, I'm not sure, but this might actually be lighter, even if it's so much larger. Just about the same weight. And also, this has the excellent image body inbuilt stabilizer, the sensor stabilizer. So when shooting handheld, this is much better. And these days, it is about, I don't know, 4 years old or something, still extremely good performing camera. But I think the industry is waiting for Panasonic to see if there's going to be a GH6. But maybe that's good actually. If a GH6 is coming out, these might drop in price, and they're still like excellent cameras. So yeah, wholeheartedly recommend. So yeah, that's my little video on the gear that I'm using. And yeah, so if you're thinking about making videos, I think first off, use what you have. For me, it was very, very important to be able to shoot for a long time. A lot of cameras they overheat, or they have like a half an hour time cap where they just shoot for half an hour and then they turn off. That's a big turn off for me because I shoot like for hours. My tutorials are, I don't know, I could shoot for 3 hours straight and then edit. And both of these, they can do that. I've never even seen an overheating symbol on any of these. I don't know what it looks like. So this is never overheated on me, and I'm shooting straight for 3 hours. And this too, never seen an overheating symbol. This has a fan and some vents, and it's probably more spacious inside, so it's not overheating that much. Yeah. But start with what you have. Like, this is a phone. It can also shoot for hours. And as you can see, like when I was doing this, and now I'm zooming in digitally, cropping in, it's still plenty sharp, isn't it? It's really sharp. So you can use a camera like a phone if you're getting started. But if you want to have something that performs well and you can trust, I think these are two very good options. They shoot for as long as you want, and yeah, very good. Another thing that I have been using a lot in my videos, I don't do much anymore because I found the audio input to be of sufficient quality, and sending it out there, it sounds good. But with this one, I've been recording, let's see, where is it? I think it's here. No, it's not. Where is it? It's here. Yeah, there it is. I've been recording with this. This is a Swiss Army knife when it comes to audio recording. Field recording with great microphones. You got 4 inputs, so if you have a little mixer here, you can record straight onto this and then sync it up in Final Cut. And you can even record straight into this little mini jack, but that will override the mics. So you can have 6 channels, but if you're using the mics, you can only have 4 channels of cabled input. Yeah, so this Zoom H6 would also be in that kit. Like when I'm traveling to the NAMM show or stuff like that, I'm using this. This is my kit, these two, and cables, and like a microphone. Yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention is lights. The lights that I'm using in my studio is basically 4 lights. 1, 2, these are the same. I mounted them on the wall. I can throw them up, down, into the ceiling, reflect them on the white wall there to give some soft light. And it's a brand, what's it called again? Jupio. These are brand new, so I've only had them for like a month. And these up here, another brand called Aputure. So one there and one there. And I kind of moved them around a bit, but mainly I try to create like a soft light environment, and to have something coming down on me and something soft coming from the front, and I change them around a little bit. But as they're quite small, I often use like the ceiling as a bouncer, so it's bouncing off the ceiling and creating a very soft light down. And same thing here, sometimes I tilt it up to create more bounce, and then it bounces down on me. Yeah, very nice. And this is just something to prevent the light from hitting the wall, because that's making it nice. And it's just like camping mattress material. camping mattress material. It's something I use a lot to pad my bags when I have a lot of gear and I travel. And these, they don't have any remote control. So I got like a very cheap power remote control with 3 channels. And basically it's 3 of these with that can be remotely switched on and off. And this one on channel 1, yeah. There we go. These, however, they do have like a dedicated control. Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. Channel 1, okay. And off, on. So that's good, And I realized these are very cheap. The lights I'm using are cheap. Like if you want to get like Super Pro, it costs like 10 times as much. But I bought some cheap lights and they have, they differ a little bit. Like these up here, they are kind of a little bit hint of magenta, whereas these are a hint of green. So I can fix it in the grading, but I would rather have like one type of light that was perfect. But for that, I guess I need to just pay up. So far, I think these are sufficient. I'm really pleased with the price and size of these, and they're really flat and they feel nicely built. And I can change the temperature. Well, you can't really see it because the camera is adjusting the white balance automatically. So I keep them around, what is it, like 4,300 Kelvin or something like that. I found to be a good spot. Yeah, so the lights, these are the lights that I use. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share this because I'm using this all the time, every day, like the whole year around. I'm using it over and over again. And yeah, I depend on these and these perform really well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you today. And yeah, should I show? No, that's it. That's it. You know, 99% of the time I use this lens. I was thinking, should I show you some other lenses? But no, this is the one I use. So cool. Well, glad you stayed with me here for a while. If you enjoy what I'm doing here on YouTube, please consider throwing in some donation over at Patreon. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you everyone for doing that, and peace out everyone.